funny. They will play me fun. I play. My neighbor press one. He goes the fun apart.
ABC, Nigeria, from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom.
This one like this, don't tumbling. I'm doing water. Everything is not funny. They will play me fun. I play. My neighbor press one. He goes the fun apart.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Maazi Ezeoke here. It is my Friday hangout. I know you can hear me loud and clear. How are we doing today? Now, as usual, this is a Friday hangout, and what it means that we make serious conversations. We break it down in a manner that we have a relaxed atmosphere on a Friday evening. And I say to you for joining me, thank you very much for joining me. If you don't mind, I would want to know where you are watching me from. I know many of you are in the diaspora, my good people. And I know many of you are with us here in the ground zero. You know, in the last couple of days and weeks, we've seen what is happening in the Nigerian political sphere. It has not been easy. You know, for many who are not engaged, they may not understand what it means to fight for that which you believe that is right to do at the appropriate time. On that note, I will say, what a Friday evening hangout it will be, and I say to you, welcome once more. Indeed, I am happy to have you here. Now, but before I start, let me ask you, where are you watching me from? Let me know where you're watching me from. I say to those of you watching me from Germany, I say, schönen guten Abend, wie geht's euch? Those of you watching me from Spain, buenas tardes. Those of you watching me from Germany, buongiorno. No, you see, I missed it. It's not buongiorno. I'm just testing you guys. Yeah, is it buongiorno? Comment ça va? Ça va bien. Okay? Mutani Nigeriani. Megidani. Kagani. To my Yoruba brothers and sisters, I say to us, good evening. Ekaro. To the ancient people, Ndibo, I say to us, Umunnem Kedukunu Mel. Nomu Abonye Nkono, Maazi Ezeoke, Onye Njenje Nkembo, na Ezinefite, Anamasi Onu, Udodolo None. I have greeted every one of you to the best of my knowledge language I can understand. I'm not addressing you as the president who would tell you that he is going to speak to you in a language you understand, but I believe you do understand the language I mean. And I say to us, welcome once more. So before we start looking at, various things that has happened, because what we do Friday Hangout will take a swipe on the events of the week, the things that's happened within the week, trying to make sense out of the senselessness. Sometimes they do make sense, sometimes they don't. I say to you, Terry B. Odon says, yes, we do. Thank you very much. You're watching me from Germany, see? I tell you, I know everywhere. Schönen guten Abend, schon wieder. Nochmal. From Germany. Congrats on the plague. Oh, Onyanimo, that's since last year. I think maybe people don't pay attention. Maybe sometimes, because I do do a lot of broadcast outside the house, or rather outside the studio. Sometimes he's not there. But he's been there since last year. So we are making progress. And we couldn't get this much without the support of every one of us. And I say to us, anyone who wishes to support us can definitely do that. It is a brand new month, and I know that many of you no longer go to church, neither do you pay tithe. You no longer pay tithe. And I say, why? Why are you not paying tithe? Tithe. Let the account number be ringing. Ringing. Fidelity Bank 5600624482. Anyway, people, I know it's good to have you here. I would at some point allow you to join me. Let's have this conversation together, because it's normally good, and you know my worldview, it is always good to jojo than to war. Because at the end of the day, after warring your war, you have to come down to a round table, square table, rectangular table, whatever type of table, you know.
Today is Friday, 10th.
So you can see that. Anyway.
Hello, good morning. Today is Friday,
So
10th of June,
I have
2022.
something opened up here. There is a revolution happening, and I need to address this. Many of you sent me messages and videos yesterday saying that if I am aware of the disruptions we do have when people have come out to register, especially in Lagos State, that it appears that certain people are not being allowed to go and get their PVC. I tell you that I can guarantee you that that has been taken notice of. The people that ought to know are in the know. No one will say that they are not aware of what is happening. Be watchful. You will see a press release coming out within the next couple of hours addressing that, because that is unacceptable. That a people, when you say you are part of a nation, you come out to register and you've been attacked. One thing is that Nigeria never knew that there is a time, or rather that time will come, when the youth will say enough is enough. You've told us that the only way we can have our say, they are telling you that when they protested, you shot at them. When they protested at Lekki, you rolled out the army, and the army used them as cannon foders. When they protested in Aba, you did the same thing to them. When they protested in Kaduna, you did the same thing to them. When they protested in Jimeta, Yola, you did the same thing to them. When they protested in Ogun State and Abeokuta, you did the same thing to them. When they protested in Delta State, Warri, the crocodiles began to smile. And when they protested in Mbo in Onitsha, the python began to dance on its own tail. Be it in Benue State, Operation Lafia Dole began to happen. Therefore, if the only way of ending the maddening madness is that people begin to get ready and begin to take their future in their own hands by getting their PVCs and using their PVCs wisely, then I say, so be it. And we must do everything within our rights as law-abiding citizens to ensure that every single person who wants to go and register, I mean, it is your right not to. It is your right not to register. This is not Australia. It is your right. But it is also the other individual's right to go and register and use that PVC, for whatever reason. But I tell us this. For many of my brothers who talk about referendum, I do agree with us, and I am a believer in referendum, because referendum is when two people agree together, they work towards a common goal. But when there is disagreement, referendum is basically someone asking this question: do we want to part ways or do we want to stay? But be rest assured that you will never ever have a referendum without voting. Voting is part of referendum, and that's what it is. Because someone is going to ask you, I want those that will vote to ensure that they are Nigerians, to ensure that they are not aliens, quote unquote. You know what that means in the legal terms of people who understand immigration laws. You know what that means. But for that to also happen, you need some form of identification that will allow you say, if it comes to that point, to say, are you wanting to vote yes or no? But for you to do that, you have to have some form of documentation, and that documentation is called your voter's card. In the Nigerian parlance, it's called the permanent voter's card. Sadly, that we are a nation where you have to have a permanent voter's card. Many of you in the UK, you know that when you want to vote, it's either you vote by mail, these things can be emailed to you, it can be sent to your house, you fill it in, you vote ahead of time. Those of you in America, you know it. They say I think it's a mailing whatever vote. Those of you in countries where probably people have gray matters in between their skulls, things happen differently. But here we have, and I am a proponent of blockchain voting. I'm a proponent of wanting to see us actually convert our ATM machines. These things are not skyrocket science, they are doable, to polling units. That you come in, I slot in my ID card, he recognizes me, maybe key in my details, he takes my facial, takes my picture, verifies me either by my international passport, any form of ID that is nationally given, national identity card, which I thought that was what it was meant for. Two-factor authentication, either with my BVN, obviously sending me an authentication code to my mobile phone. Then I can vote, maybe from the other room in my bedroom, maybe. If that happens, what it means is that you may have over 50% of Nigerians that live in urban areas already covered. Over 50%. And if you ever get to that point, it means that in an election, you will see suddenly election will skyrocket. Because in a household, I say we are 6 in my household, and we have 4 grown adults, people over 18 years. They can help each other. If someone, maybe an elderly, doesn't know how to, you can help them hold the device in their face to take their facials and let this sink, and eventually that individual casts his or her vote without going out. What it does is that it gives confidence as well, because people are no longer threatened. They're no longer fearing for their life, like some part of Nigeria, like in the southeast, where people will be afraid if the ungunknown men would come and, or in some western part of Nigeria where the allies will come, like what happened in Lagos yesterday, and scatter stuff. Or like what happened in Lagos also in 2019, when some people in Okata were not allowed to vote. Again, it's a sad event. So the events that happened yesterday, I don't want to trivialize and make an ethnic issue of that. But I think that it is time we begin to speak to ourselves as respectful as we can. We are all human beings. And in that, respecting ourselves means that when election like this come, I had some comments yesterday that really I wasn't comfortable with. Some of them are saying, oh, go back to your states and register. I said that's around nonsense. If you work in Anambra State and you're from Kaduna, you pay your tax in Anambra State, and you have Anambra State as your place of residence, of course, you must vote in Anambra State, because that is your primary place of residence. The same applies if you're from Sokoto and you live in Lagos or Ogun State or Abeokuta. Doesn't matter. You must, because you're legally a citizen, and as long as the nation is still one, you're legally bonded to cast your vote in that state of residence. But hey, what do I know? Nigeria, it's sometimes It's not only politicians, sometimes we also do ourselves. Now, before I let you join me have this conversation this evening, I would, as usual, let me go to Lagos and show us what is happening. People, there is a silent revolution. If no one is going to tell you that, I'm telling you that at this platform. There is a silent revolution that is happening. Well, people also argue that, well, Africans don't do things until it gets late. Well, it doesn't matter. For me, it is a case of you want to eat eba, whether you swallow the soup and bite the eba, all of them, when it gets into your stomach, they will definitely mix. Or you swallow or you eat the eba first and drink the soup. It doesn't matter. It gets into your stomach. They all mix together. Or you take it, put it, swallow. All of them get into your stomach. Eventually it will mix. Whether you registered last year, people like me registered years ago and moved and go revalidate this. My PVC is here. My voter's card, and I don't play with it. See, it's here. I do not play with it. That's my voter's card. Now this one I go take flog somebody. So when I say these things, it is that simple, but it's not also simple. Sometimes some of us make these things to be so complex. Yes, I do understand that suddenly some people are closing markets, like in Abuja, like in Lagos, where people are closing markets, saying, okay, we want to close this market, we want to go and register. And these videos begin to emanate, saying that INEC is colluding with certain people and saying, no, you cannot register. Again, let us not make this thing an ethnic divide. Over the years, we've had stories. Oh, Awolowo did this. Dr. Nanda Zikiwe did the other one. This person did this. The other person did that. Sadona did this. The other person did that. Can we say that this was in the days of the old? If the founding fathers made their own mistakes, then we are younger people born after the Nigerian Civil War. Therefore, we should be able to cut our own part. And in cutting our own part, we must be a people that must respect each other's boundaries. It's as simple as that. I found it, I abhor the behavior that somebody would want to go and register to vote, and another individual would then go prevent that person. Now, this video here is Tinubu Square, Lagos today. This is as people were prevented from casting, or rather getting their PVC yesterday. Some of them now moved to the TBS, where they say if you go to TBS, they had so many computers. Listen to this, what this young man is saying here. Even at this evening, still after 7, 1 hour ago, people were still there waiting just to get their PVC patiently. And that can tell us free of charge that by the virtue of things we are seeing now, INEC is not a matter of if, and it's not a matter of when. INEC must extend this in order to allow everybody, because our argument is INEC call this continuous voter registration. If it is continuous, unless the English word there means absolute nothing, but if it's continuous, it must then continue. It mustn't just then stop. Then hear and listen to what people are saying here.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Today is Friday, 10th of June 2022.
We are in TBS.
The youth are not smiling.
The youth are not smiling.
A lot of people.
This is after 7.
This is after 7.
A lot of people has been here 6, even 5 a.m. People have been here. We are not smiling. Our vote must count this time around. It's either we take it right now or never. We are here live and direct, TBS. Today is Friday. A whole lot of people You can't believe this is after 7 and there are thousands of people seated. I came around 6 and I was asking, she will not sleep here. A lot of people has been here. Like, we mean business. 2023 will be a game changer. We are going to make a statement that will echo out all over the world. This is live and direct. PBS on Friday, 10th of June, 2022.
So you can see that this was Tinubu Square, Lagos State. Now look at how people sat down peacefully. If we play a video of Enugu, Opala Square, stadium, just like this, people came out, sat down patiently. The only difference between the scenario is in Opala Square, INEC had only 2 computers. Here, as of yesterday, I think they had about 10. At least it made the process slightly, faster compared to where the same number of people, came out with network challenges, and you still have that level of computers that were dedicated to this. People, what it means is that simple, very, very simple, that people are now saying they want to follow this path. Because people have said all these things, they want to go here. They talk about Yoruba nation, you bagba them. They talk about separate state of Biafra, you bagba them. They talk about Niger Delta, you bagba them. They talk about El Zazaki, you bagba them. They say, okay, now, we are getting sense, small. We did answers on a Hamaros. Now people are planning, strategizing to come back another form of answers, but this time around, it's going to be democratic answers. And these answers, democratic answers, will be televised on this platform. Subscribe, share, like. It will, that I can guarantee us, that these answers, democratic answers that is looming, will be televised. It is nothing but a tsunami. It's not in vain that this is happening. When you watch some clips and you hear where the youths are saying no APC, no PDP, and sometimes the politicians maybe think that the youths are just saying that for saying sake. When the youth say no APC, no PDP, they mean it. I'm telling you, they mean it, because what is about to happen, if you have spiritual eye, if you are like me, that you have spiritual eye, because I don't need to rub powder before I have spiritual eye. I can see past, present, and I can even see past participle, because I have a brother who has given me some powers to see the future in the present and in the past participle.
You will be a past participant. Yeah. Hey! Ebu agomia. One day we go here. Say yesterday you are a past. So very soon you shall be past. Party. One day, say tickle. One nana so you are
I told you, what is about to happen is no longer in the past participle. It is in the present future tense. Many people will not know. You see, Maazi, now, I am losing weight. You know why I'm losing weight? If you don't know why I'm losing weight, ask Buhari.
Are we like to use a different approach in the fight against insecurity, especially kidnapping, which is a big issue now, sir?
No, I have just seen the IG. I think he is still losing weight. So I think he is working very hard.
You see, the IG is losing weight. Buhari thinks he's working very hard. And me, I'm lost 3 kg. I lost 3 kg. So I'm working very hard. I'm working very, very hard. And when I work very hard, I lose weight. I am working very hard for 2023. Because for me, go get your PVC. 2023 now the referendum. Now the referendum. referendum is happening next year. So don't say we didn't tell you on time. Referendum is happening next year. Go get your PVC. If I don't like your face, I won't tell you. I will do you what they did in Tunubu Square. What's it called? Eagle Square. Eagle Square. People, when the one they called the Star Boy, when he came out to speak, the VP. If I were to support anybody from the Southwest, obviously, I've said this many years ago. He has me. He bought my heart. The vice president was my candidate. But as long as the Southeast was concerned, where I believed the words of Obonnionu, if equity has anything to play, it is the turn and it is in the place of the Southeast too. And be that as it may, that's why as a Southeast, and in that Southeast, I would have, without blinking an eyelid, I would give it to Dave Umahi. I said it, I'm still saying it. Second option would have been, what's it called again? Obonnionu, the Minister of Science and Tech. But imagine for 1 second that Peter Obi didn't move out of PDP. People, it would have been game over. You wouldn't have PDP would have done you Ojoro. APC would have Bogotoa. Our brother, my good friend, Professor Kingsley Moghalu, whom I have not found the courage to call him Kambesolia because it was tragedy. Today I was told how his humiliation was planned, and it's a tragedy. It wasn't by accident. People were given peanuts. The rumor has it that people were given $100 per individual, and what you saw happened in ADC happened suddenly from nowhere. But again, who are those behind it? I don't know. So you can imagine in the APC, everything is kaput. In the PDP, everything is kaput. In the ADC, now even the one that is being held by Mr. Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State, you still have Ainwa brothers. Suddenly a man that contested under APCA, National Assembly, and Obi Kubana's younger brother called him, the one they call Kubana as well, settled him. He took that settlement, went away. You can see, I think we posted it yesterday on Njenje Media, right? I saw I think one of the staff posted it on the community section. If you haven't seen it, go and see. The pictures are there. He took that money, walked away. Suddenly, because then Peter enters into level, another business opportunity. Listen, my brother, I think there is limit to nonsense. You better retrace your step. It's not a threat, but it's better retrace your step before the younger generations will come and say thank you to you. Because you know in your widest imagination, in your dreams, even if they pump you like Michelin, pump you 50 times. If not that your poster started coming out now. I'm from Anambra, I never heard of you. Nobody knows you. No more am I. So, and you're there just to being used. Do not be an Obabi Asika. Do not. In things fall apart, Okonkwo was warned. Okonkwo was told when Ikemefuna was handed over to him and the spirit, they said, do not bear hand in killing that child that calls you father. I won't say more than that. Why I said that to you is that I believe in Igbo and you understand what I mean. So when you now understand all these things, you see that there are distractions. But in the midst of that distraction, we must not lose sight of our democratic Arab Spring happening in Nigeria. EndSARS 2.0, democratic version. EndSARS 1.0 was testing the microphone. Testing the microphone. That was EndSARS 1.0. This one is EndSARS 2.0. Obi should pick a Muslim VP. Come on, it's a given. Would he pick me? Eh? 2 days ago, one party called me, said, Maazi, I want you to be our VP. I nearly fell off my chair. I said, I beg. Make una dey go. And I want go, this is small money people, you won't go give me for Friday hangout. Somebody, you won't go telling me, make it a bring and me. I said, no. Here. If you didn't there, you didn't there. Because this time around, if you break it, you pay for it. Whether under anointing or anything, this time around, we are under break.
And I've warned in the first service, for those of you that like to fall under anointing and break things, if you fall under anointing again in this church and break anything, you pay. From today is break and pay. Any spirit that breaks anything in this church again will pay. That mad demon. This camera is 1 million. Oh. If you are falling under anointing, don't go there. Tell the demon inside of you not to go to this camera. Oh. You want to fall under power. You fall break television. You fall break camera stand. You fall break. Don't go near that computer system or media. If they come there, fire will burn them. You touch one computer there, 500,000. Always falling under anointing. Pastor shake you, fall under anointing. Pastor touch your head, you fall under anointing. Pastor say, come here. You near pastor, you fall under anointing. Faller. Please stop falling, bring money.
You see, you're a faller. You get it? Do not, again, I say it, do not let them use you, because you might become a persona non grata to your own people. People body they hot now. The atmosphere is charged. Do not be used against your own person. Do not. I don't know how else to spell that out for you, but I believe that a word is enough for the wise. You get it?
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
I can help you. If you don't get it, you forget about it. Now, the link to join me here, if you want to make contribution, is in the the link is in the comment section. Now, but let us look at one analysis that I found so interesting, and that analysis was on the Arise TV this morning. My good brother was asked question that he said that Tinubu was amongst the most popular person in the Southeast. And I'm like, huh? Did I hear? And I wanted to ask, how come? Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm living in cuckoo land. Please, if you're here watching, remind me which state Tinubu visited before the APC convention. At least we saw Atiku. When Atiku was campaigning, Atiku, by his proxy, Ray WC, CEO, Ray Power, AIT, he visited all the states on behalf of Atiku, and Atiku eventually did some. You saw Professor Kingsley Moghalu visited almost all the states again. Peter Obi, within 20 days, touched 36 states, or 35 plus FCT, making it 36. The only state he didn't go to was Adamawa, for a reason. So if you understand this and you know that this is what is happening, and I'm struggling to understand that somebody is so popular in the Southeast and he hasn't been to the Southeast, just like what Buhari was doing then. People were thinking he was going to change. He was going to change. He was going to change. But it appears it's Asna Oyamalam. It appears it is a thing, because like the elders always say, from the smell of your fat, you have an idea how they would taste if it ever comes close to your mouth or your tongue. You understand what I mean? Because if the other one was so, see, if it was atomic bomb, you then understand what could happen in the other one. But let's listen to this conversation. I have a Sydney joining.
Thank you very much for having me. First of all, I want to congratulate our principal, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for a landslide win in the just concluded presidential primaries of APC. In respect to your question, we all know that the country needs healing, and we need a healer that will help us to nurse the wounds that this country currently has, especially in terms of insecurity problems, economic predicament, religious conflict, as well as political instability. But the main point is this: since we have finished the primary elections, and we now have two political leaders, two major political leaders in the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu of APC and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar of PDP. This is now time to face the general election. But it's important to note that in terms of the current political realities of the country, we now have other regional leaders in respect of former Governor Peter Obi of Anambra State, who is now heading Labour Party, as well as Senator Kwankwaso of Kano State, who is heading New Nigerian People's Party. So if you analyze, these realities that I'm talking about, you know that the equation has changed. But look, let me tell you, what we are looking in this election, we are looking at competence, we are looking at experience, we are looking at who has the tenacity, who has the sagacity, who has the courage, to move Nigeria forward. Especially when you take into consideration, the factors I have mentioned earlier that are affecting this great country. And if you look at it, you find out that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has demonstrated the track record to take this country forward. See, let me tell you, in politics, you look at the track record of accomplishment. This gentleman, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as governor of Lagos State, he did a whole lot, to bring dividends.
One thing that will settle this matter, someone said here, one thing that will settle this matter is presidential debate. Actually, there should be presidential debate every 2 weeks. By the time they debate at least 12 times, our eye go clear. Some people will be maybe coming to the presidential debate with catheter, and some would, some will be, after watching, you go and eat agbado, corn, and you go and eat cassava, and it will do you. Maybe that's where we are headed to. But the point that I wanted to make here is that when such narratives are being put out there, it behoves on some of us who are in the media also to really at the inception to shoot it down, because we cannot be alive here and people are now telling us what is akin to what Chief MKO Abiola said, bobbing a man's head in his absence. Bobbing a man's hair in his absence. You got to be in it to win it. Yes, you did not, these areas were not visited. Well, I mean, we own up. But we cannot just come, in the middle of the game and we want to change the narrative. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. But let me quickly bring Sydney here with me. Sydney has joined me here in the studio. If you also want to discuss this is a Friday hangout. You pay your tithe. You go to njenjemedia.com. You can pay your tithe here. We can still, for long, I haven't seen anyone use super sticker or super chat here. But be that is me, let me quickly get Sydney in. Sydney, you're welcome to Njenje Media TV. You're speaking to Maazi Ezeoke. Where are you watching me from, and where are you joining me from, Sydney?
Good evening, Maazi. I'm calling from Australia. Yes.
Is that why you use Sydney as your device name?
Oh, it's my name actually.
Okay, you're Sydney, living in Sydney. That's interesting.
No, I'm living in Perth. I'm living in Perth, Western Australia.
Okay, Perth. Okay, that's fine. What time is it now?
It's 3:15 a.m.
3:15 a.m. and you're not in Zaza room.
No, I'm not in Zaza room.
Okay, go ahead.
I said that I needed to be awake to join your program. I like to at least follow what is going on. I've been following what is going on, and thanks for how you have been doing your program, and I really enjoy it and enjoy the political narrative. Moving straight to the thing, a few months ago, while Obi was in Peter Obi was in PDP, I felt if PDP is able to feel the pulse of the nation, feel the pulse on the street, then they will move. If they want to capture the heart of young people, capture the heart of Nigerians who are tired, then they would go with Peter Obi, because Peter Obi was strategic. Why do I say that? He was able to quickly use the media. He was speaking in every forum he spoke to. Unfortunately for both parties, they never knew that he was communicating to the Nigerians directly. And so he had built a groundswell. And that groundswell, he knew that prior to when he left, I said the next move of Peter Obi is going to be most critical, because we knew that there's no way PDP and the political elite will allow him. But if he moves, it will be because he has seen that he has advantage. He has a political upswelling coming through. So that's what has happened. And suddenly, the political elite are aware of it. Asiwaju is aware he's going to fight dirty. So what he's already doing now with regards to voter suppression of registration, especially within the Eastern Bloc, is what he had done in the last election, where he suppressed people from voting. So I think it's important that people become strategic. Nigerians are wiser. Now, with the charlatans that was speaking in Arise News TV, he's just making a fool of himself. Stomach infrastructure, things are very difficult. So you say whatever you want to say. But you see,
the permutation has changed. It's no longer in the past, where, Southeast.
Go ahead. We're listening to you.
Okay, sorry, because I heard something coming. So the truth is that there's what that individual was saying. They are trying to drum up as much because they can feel the pulse, because they insulted the young people by calling them lazy. They insulted the young people by saying that they are just a Twitter generation. But suddenly that Twitter generation has come on the ground, and it is really a big issue, especially for Atiku. Atiku is finding it very difficult because he needs the Southeast as a block for for his winning elect to contend with Asiwaju. Asiwaju feels he has the Southwest, so he needs to encroach into the northern vote. However, the vote of Peter Obi transcends North and South. The vote of Peter.
Let me quickly interject. Asiwaju does not. Asiwaju actually, you know, the Yorubas are very sophisticated people. Asiwaju doesn't have, you know, not necessarily that he has got that in the bag, right? Not necessarily.
No, I don't. I didn't say he has got it in the bag.
I want anyone listening. Okay, I want anyone listening to me to make, and I'm willing to bet on this. We will not. This election will not end in February. There will be a runoff.
Yes, that's where I was going to.
I'm betting anyone who can. I have done the analysis, and I can tell you free of charge there will be a runoff in this election.
Yes. Asiwaju doesn't have the West in the bag. I didn't say, but he has an advantage. That's what I'm trying to say. But the challenge for Asiwaju is this. Lagos, that was supposed to be in his bag, is not in his bag. He has different things fighting him in Lagos. He has the Lagos for Lagos movement, which is one of his strong men who is now going to run for governorship in Lagos. And he knows that within Lagos, he has a massive Eastern vote that is there. And so he has to contend with that. That's very important.
How do you feel when people make this comment that you cannot come from your place and decide for us in Lagos? How does that make you feel as a Nigerian?
Of course, it's very insulting because it's not even part of our constitution. Anybody if you have lived in a particular state,
you know, one thing,
more than 10 years, you can actually run elections in that state. It's actually in the constitution. It's just that because most people are not aware, so they will always throw up, or if you're not an indigenous of a state, you can't come here and even do your voters registration. It's an insult. It's a complete insult to our sensibilities. However, we must understand that power will never be given freely to anybody.
Of course.
They are going to do everything. So that's why I'm telling you, why do you think INEC will want to shut down an online registration, which should be the simplest registration? Because they have been able to predict that the young people are actually coming out. The young people are actually ready to register, and they're helping people register. So how can we frustrate them from doing that? How can we frustrate them from picking up their PVC cards? So they understand that the young people have an ability to mobilize as much as possible. So that is the big threat to Atiku and Asiwaju. Now, the challenge is, yes, we know that there's a threat. And yes, we know that they are ready to fight with everything in play. Now, the question is, by next week, all the presidential candidates are already locked in. Now is the time for Peter Obi to be able to bring this election to a runoff. We need him to carry this election to a runoff. That means all organizations must coalesce and say, how do we break into the North? How do we, which is already happening, how do we break into the base? Peter Obi's base is the young people that have registered. By the time we're able to claim
and
that
they are everywhere, so they are not in a particular region.
Yes, they are not regionalized. Yes.
CY Code, get ready. I would have preferred that you rename your device, but I'm going to bring you in. Hold on there. Hold your thoughts, Sydney. CY, I'm bringing you in now. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you, Maazi.
Okay, where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from America, California.
Oh, okay. California. No, you people, do you sing the Californian song? Okay, let's get real here. So if you've heard what we've been discussing, what's your take?
Are you talking me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So is a simple thing. This is not about, at this point, it's not about tribal issue or whatever. What we are looking at right now is somebody that can deliver Nigeria from this problem that we are in right now. The reason why, since the past, let's say 5 years and also, I've been following Peter B, and he's the way he's been speaking about, fixing Nigerians' problems and all that, and all the things that he's been saying. And when you look at it, these things are doable, but these guys in power right now, they don't want to help us. They just want to. They are all there for stomach infrastructure. That's all. You can imagine where, I give you an instance right now. 5 years ago, Maazi, 5 years ago, we ship cars to Nigeria. We ship goods.
Nigeria from top to bottom.
Sorry, go ahead. Before you continue, someone sent me this video. Because obviously they've seen that I use it, Nigeria has gone from top to bottom. No apologies.
Yes.
But they've done a remix of that in line with what you're saying.
Nigeria from top to bottom. Top to bottom. Top to bottom. Top to bottom.
From consumption to production. From consumption to production.
You see, this is why this is funny, but it tells a narrative. When one says from top to bottom, the other is saying we're going to get this nation to work from consumption into production. You see this different narrative. So you may go ahead.
Yeah, so 4 years ago or 5 years ago, when we ship containers down to Nigeria, let's say a 40-foot container, they charge, shipping it to Nigeria is about $4,000. But as at today from California, they charge you $7,900, which is basically $8,000.
Yeah.
Now,
so why that sharp increase?
Because because I've been each time the increment, I keep asking the shipping company what is going on, because our brothers in let's say the Ghanaians, containers that go to Ghana, Togo, and Benin, they still pay like $5,000.
Yeah.
So when I tried to ask the shipping company, they said they treat Nigerian waters as like a war zone, because they most times they bring a container will come to Nigerian waters and stay there for almost a month to discharge their goods. At the end of the day, they stay there for almost 2 months. So where do we go from here? So that's the reason why they are charging all those money, for demurrage, for all that thing, for security and all that.
So, and I see Sydney, you were nodding your head in agreement.
Yeah. I mean, the ease of doing business in Nigeria is very, very difficult, because one thing about bringing international influx into a country is how do we do business. For instance, in Australia now, Australia has one of the biggest mining industry. Now, Nigeria has not even developed that space, and all of the time they have a program called African Down Under. The last one that happened, Fayemi was the mining guru here, the mining minister. He came here. He didn't spend much time because he was interested in going back to Ekiti for his elections. And I met one of the senator manager. I asked senator manager, you are here now.
The guy from Delta State that was accused of embezzling NDDC.
Of course. They don't have a vision. I asked him, I said, okay, you are here in the mining down under, where you see all the mining companies from all all part of the globe, and especially within Africa, South Africa, throughout the West Coast, Burkina Faso, Mali, all that whole mining axis. And everybody is coming here to especially create deals that will bring investment into their country and create jobs and boost the economy. What is your plan? Started giving me stories. And I knew that the young people will feel these guys have jumped on a plane and they are telling Nigerians, oh, we're going to an economic down under. But at the end of the day, nothing is done. You can know that there is no way out. So that is why you look at the people coming and say, how can Nigeria get out from the problem? Because 2023, the president, I feel pity for even if Peter Obi is president, because what he's going to meet will shock him. He's going to meet a country that is in comatose, a country that needs all hands on deck. To bring that country out of where it is now, it needs all hands on deck. Security is low. We can see what is happening to our brother Soludo. He can't even start because the security situation is down. And the truth is that the government knows the problem. The whole world knows the problem. But they have been playing with the problem.
It only takes a man who has got no horse in that race.
Yes.
To make the right decision.
And that is why a Peter Obi becomes a national movement. Now, even if Peter Obi decides today that I think I don't want to do this, let me go and beat my family, he cannot.
He can
because
no
the hopes
he has crossed the Rubicon.
He has crossed a path that has given even the market woman selling oranges that we have a chance.
Let him not even do it, because if he does it, I will lead the people to go to his house and drag him out on the street.
This chance is our one chance. You know, sometimes we look at it, maybe God just loves us and he made a move when he decided to make a move. And that move has given us hope. So the question is, can we be able to push this movement to bring it to a place where we go into a serious runoff, where it will be 3 men on the ballot, and then we take this nation? Because in 2023, we need a leader that is cerebral.
It's not actually 3, it is 4. It's actually 4. You know, don't discount Kwankwaso because he's got his own base.
Good. I will not discount Kwankwaso because Kwankwaso is creating a strategy where he's looking at those that have been disenfranchised in their parties, especially in the north, and he has already collated them. So, and he has created a serious partnership with Shakarao. And I tell you, even Ganduje knows within his spirit that Kanu is up for a grab, because Kanu electorates are very, very cerebral. So what I'm trying to say in NS is we need to help. Even after Peter Obi wins, he's going to be faced with a mountain hill. I don't expect magic. I'm a very realistic individual. But I know that he's going to put some structures down that will begin to move the nation towards recovery, because we need to recover.
In the search for the VP for Peter Obi and others, what would you, because I read the comments of Onyenimo here, who says that you know, his VP selection is key to breaking the North, that he recommends a radical like a woman, a Christian, and a Christian Northern woman who is credible. But I think that is, in my view, that has been utopic. That is not realistic. If actually you need someone in the mode of Kwankwaso to be his VP, that's my take.
Immediately he moved to Labour Party, I began to talk with contacts in the north. And the first person I said, can we get Kwankwaso? And I'm very realistic. If they are able to sit in the same room, we can make a deal. See, politics is about negotiations, and abilities to bring everybody together. We make a simple deal. Obi, 8 years, Kwakwanso, 8 years. If you create a deal that is realistic for Kwakwanso,
it's not going to work.
I'm just saying that hypothetically.
No, it's good you say it. Kwakwanso is from Kano, right? Kano is northwest.
Yes, I know.
It will be an injustice because, again, he who does not want anyone to go through your back with a knife should not go through other with a knife. So if the people of the Southeast are demanding equity fairness, then we should also
go to Northeast
in the shoes
or North
of
Central.
Equity and fairness. Exactly, Northeast or North Central. Exactly. So if
this is my reason.
On this platform, God willing, totally. Okay, go ahead.
This is my reason. If you look at the political space, right from 1960 down, the Northeast or the Northwest, or I think that's what it is, the Northwest has very strong political players. Now, my natural thing would be go to the Northeast, which is Adamawa, Yobe, that axis, and look for a very strong political voice that can bring strong political voice that can bring.
Yeah, but the question is, let us be real.
But now,
someone here is suggesting Ribadu. I don't think Ribadu will cut the deal because
Ribadu will be good in the government, but Ribadu
because Ribadu will be neutralized by Atiku, who is already from his state.
So that's why I'm not going with that rationale. I'm going with because politics is about looking at your opponent. And Atiku is going to pick a South. He is bent to he's hooked to pick a Southeasterner because he knows that is the axis to help him.
So what if he picks Wike? There is rumor that he's in conversation with Wike. What do you think?
I think it will be okay for him because the South has a block vote for PDP. Although we cannot determine it now because of the South, because of the young people.
With Wike and what has happened in Akwa Ibom, do you think that the South, Wike, what happened in Akwa Ibom, what happened in Edo, do you think that Wike would actually get that block vote from the South?
I don't think so.
Okay. I think so. Okay, let me allow him.
Sorry, my brother, go ahead. Why you say you don't think so?
No, I don't think so because you know how it went down with the governor of Edo State, the one in
Akwa Ibom, because after the election, after the Congress, he was saying that they betrayed him. They betrayed him.
Yes, you know you can't just insult a man, and at the end of the day, you want him to be watching your back at the same time. No, it doesn't work that way. Even if both of you mustn't agree on everything. But you can't.
Actually, he says he has the solution to what is happening. Let's listen to him.
Want to become Nigeria's president? I want to become Nigeria's president because one, we're in problems.
Wants to become Nigerians' problem. So
let me tell you something about Wike. I lived all my life in Rivers State. All right, I was born there. I went to school there. I understand the dynamics. Let's be factual. Wike is him that kept that party floating.
No, there is no doubt. I give it to him.
Two, he has the money to push this, to add to Atiku's war chest.
Yeah, no, point of correction. He doesn't, no.
Okay.
He doesn't have the money. He has
not his money. He has River State money. River State money. That's what.
No, River State has
and that is wrong.
River State has been unlucky in the last 21 years. It started with
I know that.
When Odili brought out River State money
and was buying bus and was buying taxis for Stella Obasanjo.
Eventually, he was promised VP. He pumped money in. Suddenly, in the last minute, he was jettisoned, and Goodluck Jonathan became the vice president.
Yes, because
And then
Obasanjo said
there came
Nigeria is not
again.
for sale.
Exactly. There came again in 2000 and
Chibika Mechi.
Chibika Mechi, the same
Amechi.
thing.
We
And
had
here
Umeha,
the same
we had
this
Umeha,
weekend.
and
And
then
well,
Amechi.
Omeha didn't
That,
really
that
spend.
was the K-leg problem, the K-leg problem of
No, but he
Obasanjo.
didn't, the three people that really have. And one thing
Yes,
that you
yes,
keep
yes.
asking yourself is the money these three individuals have spent, the River State money they've spent. Imagine if this money was judiciously put in for River people.
I mean, okay.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Let me come in here. Like you just said now, the money these guys has been spending since 1999, I swear to God, if these guys has been building River State,
It will be Dubai by now. It will be Dubai.
By now, Lagos will not even see, Lagos wouldn't even come close to them.
You know what? Sorry, in line with what you're saying, I told someone when I went to Ebonyi State, I've gone to the state twice. The only state that I walk around feeling very, very safe in the southeast now. Now, the things the man there in the last 7 years has done with the little they receive, you begin to wonder, assuming they get so much money, what would have happened in that state? Yeah. But here you are, somebody, I don't know, 7 flyovers, and we wouldn't hear what. And somebody has built 23. He doesn't talk about it.
I know.
23.
You know the problem is, like I said, I've lived in that state from Odili's time when it was called the Golden Governor. Uses money to push the agenda. However, they have failed the state. I mean, they do a few things, fair enough to them, but the amount of what should be delivered to the people as dividend is not delivered. Now, the wicked problem is that the outskirts of Port Harcourt, River State, which is Obibo, that's where most of the Igbos live, they are not really happy with him because of his aggressive and abrasive behaviors towards them.
Very brash.
So, but the challenge now for Atiku, like back to our course, is what does he need to do to have a solid backup? Does he go with a wiki that we give him reverse money and has a lot of grassroots? He's sure of 2 million votes in that state. Or he goes with a more relaxed Okowa or a more relaxed Udom Emmanuel, who is, I feel, is technically better or a better astute manager. Udom Emmanuel of Akwa Ibom is much better.
Yeah.
If you say he's smart very upstairs, but the problem is
he only smart upstairs, or is he also in the league of Ayade?
I mean, Udom Emmanuel has done amazing things in Akwa Ibom.
But he's not an uncommon transformer.
No, he's not. He's not in the Akpabio behavior. I think he's marked different. He's a marked different person. However, does he have the pull to help an Atiku? But his temperament, his mannerism will fit an Atiku who will not need somebody to be brushing him at the back. He won't need that. So that is the conundrum for Atiku. The conundrum for Tinubu is...
If I throw this in, there is another narrative that if Atiku goes down and meets Ike Ekweremadu, Ikoha, a man who has stepped down from running for the office of a governorship in Enugu State, do you think that could be a possibility?
It's a possibility, but he has passed his sale date. Ike Ekweremadu has passed his sale date. He has been in the political calculations since 1999.
But you need the old wine in old bottles that are matured enough.
I know, but
in such politics.
The problem is Ike Ekweremadu. You saw the last time he came overseas, he was basically chased between his legs.
It
No,
shows
that's a different ball game.
Wait, I know. But
That's
you cannot.
that's an incident that shouldn't have happened.
I know it shouldn't have happened. We have given him respect, but the challenge is, I don't think he really can gather. He doesn't have the voting strength. That is what Atiku needs, because Atiku is fighting two wars. Listen, if Peter Obi was in that party, as it stands now, if there was no, he won't even hesitate. He knows that Peter Obi is going to bring in that young, dynamic voting bloc.
CY, what of Osita Chidoka as running mate to Atiku?
I don't think Osita is smart enough. I don't think he will do that.
Why? What do you mean he's smart enough?
I think he's smart enough not to do that.
What of our brother that has been, kind of the rug was pulled from his feet yesterday? That is the Professor Kingsley Morale.
No, it's Mohalu is not going with Atiku. Mohalu is a. I mean, he's. I want to use this word with care. He's a proud man. A proud man in terms of he understands his intellect. He understands he has a style. So Mohalu is weighing. He's lost an election, so he cannot go anywhere. That's the truth. I mean, based on the new electoral law, if you've gone through the elections, you can't go to another party. So Mohalu is going to wait to see which government will absorb him if he wants to.
No, but no. I don't think the new electoral law forbids another person to pick you, because you're not running. You're not running as a president. Bear in mind, you're running as a VP.
Well, yes, maybe, but it has its technicalities. However,
a few times when you see Mohalu being asked questions in national TV, he says, with the kind of human being he is, he doesn't think he can do anything joining those guys.
Well, these are things they tell you on the TV. Do you know the things that they discuss behind the scene?
I think the dark horse, we are not looking at the dark horse in this Atiku vice presidency. I think Ihedioha is the dark horse. He will be a calming influence. He will be a balanced ticket. He will be a balanced ticket, and there won't be any threat to Wike or threat to any of the competing groups. But it has to be a Wike. It has to be something that Wike endorses. So if you have an Ihedioha who is not going to be a threat to any individual,
and you think Wike can endorse it?
Because if Wike is giving the opportunity, I don't know that he has gone back to pick a ticket. I know he was saying he's not going to pick a senatorial ticket, but I think he needs to pick a senatorial ticket. They need to press on him to pick a senatorial ticket, and possibly but I know it's not going to happen. Possibly, let's say they win the House or the Senate. Let's say PDP wins the Senate, because from the look of things, Labour Party may not. Our efforts now is to bring in a president. So Labour Party may not be able to hold sway in the House of Assembly. So if PDP holds sway in the House of Assembly, I think a Wike as Senate president may be
Come again?
I'm going to turn your head a bit.
Sorry, I need to sit up now. I think I was being relaxed for too long. What?
Yeah, I wanted to wake you up because I think you were a bit relaxed.
And that really woke me up.
Politics is a game of interest and a lot of horse trading. We need, if Atiku is an astute politician, you need everybody on board. So what is it for Wike? So if you take, the easiest thing is pick Wike as vice president. He has more advantage because he has the money. He will bring in the money. He would mobilize his ground forces. He would deliver his state.
he will likely deliver Bielsa. So, but
no.
the other wait, with the other governors, the weakest challenge is the other governors in the South and Southeast.
Why have you ignored the governor of Enugu State?
He has a big problem.
Like
the big problem of Enugu and Anambra, okay, not Anambra, Enugu, is there is a Peter Obi on the ticket. See, Peter Obi's candidacy is a big problem. That's why the calculation is hard. If it was easy, they should have started naming their VPs. Peter Obi
no one is not even the no one has done that. Not even APC.
Yes. No, that's what I'm saying. I said the calculation is so difficult now because if there was no Peter Obi on the ticket, I can tell you, PDP will be ready to put in their list already. It should have been an article Obi, but the Obi on the ticket is the biggest issue.
Okay.
And not that he's just on the ticket.
It's fine.
He has a following.
Let me bring in CY from the US. CY.
Yeah.
Here, he talked about, made his own analogies. Then I ask you, what do you think if Peter Obi picks Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, the former CBN governor?
It will be a win.
Now, there are those who argue that Sanusi, in the eyes of the North, is not a vote winner. He's seen as someone who confronts the status quo, someone who confronts their culture, and the culture they appear to be happy with.
For me, I mean, we shouldn't forget that he was just the immediate, the emir of Kano. So he still controls, that respect.
If he controls that, why didn't the people protest for him when he was dethroned?
For me, that was because of the governor. I think it has to do with the governor. That's I don't know much about. I didn't want to go into.
And if you pick him, he has his own close friend as governor of Kaduna State. How do you think that will play out?
Man.
And bear in mind that you have a Kwankwaso, a man who is on the street, a man who controls the street.
The Kwankwasia movement.
Man, Maazi, to be candid.
See, this is why, why I'm pointing out this to you guys is when people sit back and say, oh, politicians should do this, these are, when you sit in strategic rooms and where these things are plotted, these are the kind of conversations that happen.
Yeah.
You come out, you go into a meeting, you think this person is there, and then people tell you why it's not going to work. You walk out being, what's going to happen?
Sanusi, the First Bank director or GM, then he's loved. He's a radical guy. He doesn't follow status quo.
He's loved in the South. Pay attention.
Yes, he's loved in the South. However, in Kano, is what Ganduje did. He was to restore Kano to its original Emirate style, to create the 5 Emirates, which is how it was. So the Kano people love Ganduje for that. So it's not a situation that does not give Sanusi any upper hand. So bear in mind that that's it. Like I said, in Kano,
many people, even on this forum, consider Sanusi to be an elite, somewhat elitist.
Yes, he is.
They see him as someone you can get close to, not unlike Peter Obi, that you might be going to Asaba today, and you just run into him, he sits beside you.
And that is where Kwakwanso is. Kwakwansia movement is that kind of movement of the local person. And that is the big, because he did a lot of things for the average Kano indigene. So that kind of man, if there's a way that there's a combination, which I think may happen Well, it can't happen because in a runoff, they are already singular. However, we must look for somebody that has a name. You need a name in the North that will help Obi, because now what we're doing is to go the ground game, play the ground game. A lot of young Northern boys are running with the Obi mantra. They're getting it, but they also need a Northern strong person, that at least one or two elites in the North that says we love this man and can speak for him, just like a Doyin Okupe. We need somebody in that caliber in the North that will begin to project the Obi message. That is going to be the only difficult thing for Obi. Obi needs to look for somebody in that dimension.
I can assure you that do not drink. A lot is happening. When it begins to manifest, you'll be shocked. The amount of people and the hierarchy of people standing behind Peter Obi when it comes to the
Personally, I like the Sanusi idea.
Okay,
because
see why.
Maazi, how, what if at the end of the day, the present governor of Kano State, comes and tells Obi, I want to be your VP?
No, he can't, because
Gandola.
Huh?
Gandola? You mean Gandola? Listen, the Obi presidency is on one mantra. Just like when we were deceived by the Buhari mantra that he's a saint, he's an integrity man. Obi showed us himself, and we believe that he's a decent man. Now, if you pair Obi with Ganduje, the average, is the truth. We should understand this movement. This movement is not, why people are joining this movement is because they have been able to connect with Obi like no other Igbo person since the days of maybe Ojukwu and Zeke.
And that's like a Bluetooth connection. If you disconnect, it's going to be good.
Again. It's done, because it's just like a Buhari mantra. No matter what you say, that mantra was there, and that's what he held with the North until it exposed.
Many people will be concerned, and many people have said that to my hearing, that their concern is, after the whole mantra, if what is promised is not delivered.
The difference between a Buhari and an Obi is that Obi has been tested and seen. Nobody saw Buhari govern any state. Buhari never governed the state. He would have been exposed. He never governed the state. The last time we saw him in a governing state was with Idiagbo. And everybody, even my father, will say it was Idiagbo government. PTF was a scam. PTF was a shadow. You don't see people really in such environments very well, especially when they are non-vocal people.
Well, PTF was what I call, in my worldview, it was a shadow entity. It was used and run by third parties.
So he was just a figurehead.
Where things did happen, and obviously the man in question that supposed to have taken care of stuff didn't.
For instance, not that I support a Tinubu, but if you compare a Tinubu and an Atiku, you should give Tinubu more credit. You know why? He has governed the state. He has governed Lagos.
Atiku was elected as a governor.
But he never governed.
Well,
he never governed.
Would you blame that on him?
I wouldn't blame that on him. But you see, that practical knowledge of governing, one of the things that
he governed Nigeria as well. When
as
he was the vice president, and sometimes when the president goes out in the first term, he hands him over, he runs. He was the one that assembled all the best brains that we had before that. But again, that's by the way. Let's come back to Tinubu here. And before we continue this, let's listen to Bode George talk about this.
What has it got to do with the price of milk? I said to you. that if I want to relocate, now by that time, 78 going to 79, I might go. If we had been shouting, and I am happy the president has signed the new electoral bill. If by whatever chance he gets to the villa, I won't be part of this country. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I can go to Ghana, live in Ghana, and be watching you with a binocular from afar. You will see what will happen. This is alpha beta. Create some other beta somewhere. To carry your money and carry the thing. His wife will now be Senate president. His son will be governor of Lagos. His daughter will be Yoloja of Nigeria. What has he done to prove that he deserves to be honored by anybody in this country? It goes around there. Is how? Nothing personal. In fact, my niece called me, Deola Macaulay. He said, Mommy, you know, some of their people are spinning that, he gives me money. That Bola gives me money. Let him bring the money. I will tell him to follow me to Lagos Island. People who are hungry are there. I grew up in Lagos Island. I went to that popular school, St. John's School, Aroloya. Played the local football there. I grew up there, not in Ikoyi here. But we thank God today we were educated. My parents my father was a civil servant in the Ministry of Defense till he retired. My mother was a nurse in the island maternity. They sent me to school. And they thought the rascality of Lagos was so much. So they shipped me to Ijebu Grammar School. And even if I come back again, I'll go back to Ijebu Grammar School. Because that was where ethics, the fear of God, what you expect you to live up to be. Money is not everything. It is your character that counts. Because the day you pack up, and you never know. When the angel comes, say it's time out. Don't tell him, give me 2 minutes. No, you are gone. Remember Alexander the Great, that great general, that ravaged the whole world, made so much money, as in the end, on his way back home, he fell ill. He called for his doctors. He said, I am likely to die. But make sure that coffin, you put my hands out. Because he started doling out all the assets he has acquired. And said they should leave his hands outside the coffin so that people will see that he's going home with zero. Isn't that enough lesson? If he hasn't been to school, let him go and read history. The richest man in Kuwait, the same thing. Had gold-plated aircraft, gold-plated bed, gold-plated bars. When he died, they showed us the little place where he was buried. End of story. So let them have that honor and the fear of the Almighty God to redistribute this stolen money back to the people, to educate them, to have a first-class health program in this country. Good roads, good life for everybody. Guarantee 3 meals. And those children in primary school, when we were there, it was local. It was there. We enjoyed ourselves. We went to school without shoes. And we will go back to that Onola in Isalegogo to play football. But all my friends, all my classmates.
Listening to the narrative of the person, Bode George.
Yeah.
One would think that maybe Nigerians are actually, the way he talked about corruption, but I think everybody knew what also, happened to him when he was accused of stuff. But let's not go there. That's not the conversation for this evening. The things he said about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he said he does like this, trying to trying to show that he is Mr. Shaky Shaky. And some people call him the wee and the wee ya. Whatever you choose to call him, that is up to you. Who do you think he will pick for the vice president?
You mean
Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Because he's in a dilemma. There are some people of thought. Yesterday, I got a press statement forwarded to me by the Bashir Lawal, and in there, he was berating Professor Yemi Osibanjo. Obviously, that that Yemi Osibanjo somewhat betrayed Tinubu for contesting. I'm like, when has that become a crime? But that is by the way. Now the question is that in therein also he wrote that a Muslim ticket is a no.
Will not fly.
So the question is, would the Northwest accept a Christian Muslim? What's your take? Why? Go ahead.
Maazi, all this whosoever he picks, it all depends on the person's influence.
Yeah, if he picks Dogara, what happens?
I mean, if the person like is in some sort of influential to the people, nobody will question that. But at the same time, no matter who they pick, what will settle the whole issue is when they come for a debate.
Well, if he picks Eshegumi can speak eloquently.
Shegumi, no. Listen, this he is in a conundrum, but he knows.
If he picks Governor Zulum?
No, Zulum still has one more term.
Yeah, but he can decide to be VP.
No, Zulum is not going to be.
Zulum loves his people so much that he wouldn't trade his governor.
Zulum is not. I think it's going to be between about 3 people. He naturally will not want to go the Muslim ticket because Nigeria is on the precipice. Nigeria is more divided than that. We see what happened in the Owo massacre. We've seen what is going on. So the tension is high for a Muslim ticket. This is not 1992 and 93 between Abiola and Kingibe. This time he has to be more tactical so that he doesn't disenfranchise the Christian South. Now he's going to look for the Plateau man, Lalong. The Plateau governor Lalong is a Christian, and he is the head of the progressive governors in the north. So that is a good ticket to bring him in. The northern governors will be comfortable with Simon Lalong. The northern governors, there's also Boss Mustafa, the SGF. Boss Mustafa, the SGF, is a northern intellectual. He's sound, he's savvy, he's a very top political operator.
When you talk about northern intellectual, where do you think Boss Mustafa come from?
Boss Mustafa, I think he's North Central.
Exactly.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, Boss Mustafa, I think, is from Kogi.
Yes, but
if Boss Mustafa is from Kogi, does that serve?
It doesn't serve the corner.
Exactly. The North can be very divisive when it comes to certain interests. Suddenly, North doesn't become North becomes divided.
So there is, like I said, the top pick for a northern Christian will be in the governors that delivered the votes to him. So if you are picking from the governors that delivered the votes to him, then Lalong, who is a Christian northerner from Plateau, he can be the option because he's there. He's adaptable to the north. But You also have, I think there's one other third person that I wanted to call apart from Boss Mustafa, which was Babachalawa, but Babachalawa is coming with baggage, which will not help him.
Yeah, because of
So
his grass cutting of invasive
the
species.
the grass cutting business. So if he says, okay, I'm going to take the risk, like Rufai took Nasser Rufai took the risk in Kaduna, and in the second tenure he brought a Muslim ticket in Kaduna that is creating havoc. If he takes that risk, then it's going to be he has to be sure that he has the southwestern votes, and because that will be his assumption that he has a block southwest vote coming in, and he can get the northwest vote in block coming
Now,
in.
let me tell you, there are things to consider here. He gets a Muslim ticket. You have total alienation from the southeast. You have total alienation from the south. Even within the southwest,
The north.
they are alienated already, because especially the Pentecostal Westerners will feel the jihad and the Islamization we've been talking about, preaching in the pulpit, is before us now, and that would also affect the North Central.
Yes.
That would also
So that's
affect
why I said
the Northeast, because Taraba, Adamawa, Gombe,
Yobe
wouldn't, because what people don't know is that these areas have large chunk of Christians as well.
Yes. So that's why I'm saying that Lalong will be his safe choice. One is that Lalong is a governor. Lalong is the leader of the Northern Progressive Governor Forum. So
for Lalong, I don't know. I honestly, it appears he's a status quo guy, because I cannot see anything he's doing in Plateau State.
now it's not about, it's just like Osibanjo. Nobody heard of Osibanjo. Nobody knew about Osibanjo.
No.
What?
It's no. I don't think it's the same thing. No, I don't think it's the same thing.
It's a different
Buhari came with a 12 million vote, locked. Now, we were told. Now, it was just a neutralizer of his perceived, religious fundamentalism, to just neutralize that with the pastoralship. But here you have these people, no one, when Buhari goes out of the equation, maybe with the exception of P2B, where the youth, if they come out to vote, can at least guarantee 15 solid million votes.
Or more.
But that is
at least, that's what I said, at least.
We're dealing with permutations, and we have to work from what has been historical.
Yeah, we have to work from known to unknown.
So if we work from the historical, we are saying that Anasiwaju is coming with the southwest block, assumed. So what he needs is an inroad.
When you talk about the southwest block, what's the percentage that makes a block in your view?
A percentage that makes a block is at least 85 to 90%.
Impossible.
No way.
Impossible. How are you going to get that?
Okay.
That. Hold on. You forget that Makinde is there. You forget that Lagos State is there. We forget that Ado-Ekiti and these are states that have
let me
PDP states.
Let me address that. You know, one thing I've seen in Nigeria, and that's why I pray that the Obi presidency will break that mindset. At the end of the day, we all fall back. Every election, we will all fall back to our primordial instincts. The Southwest will look and say, we have a Southwesterner in going for power. Let us realign. And you will see that a Makinde may win governor in the state, but the presidential election, they will flow somewhere else.
That is something, these are things we need to factor into our political thinking. That when it comes to the presidency, they will say, look, this is Omo Yoruba. So we will vote based on that sentiment, and we cannot remove it.
Listen.
Well, it
That
depends
is
on
why.
who is on
That
the
is
ballot.
why.
Sorry,
Listen. That is
sorry.
why.
Yeah. No, sorry. I disagree with you here. Let's hypothetically speak here. Let's say that the APC had given Rochas Okorocha the ticket. There is no way. I think it would be an absurdity to say that because you gave it to someone who is Igbo, that suddenly
it would definitely
give him 85%. He would be lucky if he gets 40.
Listen, this is why I'm talking to you. The Igbo way of voting is very Republican in nature. We are different kind of voting style. An Igbo person will say, what does Rochas deliver for me? But that's not how it operates in the north.
Let's hear from CY.
Listen, let's this is it, right? Since the past 8 years, every single Nigerian, maybe the sufferness, don't reset everybody brain, mindset and brain right now. Nobody cares.
It's only you guys in the diaspora. People, the sun is still winding. 24 hours is a long time to make change.
Yes, no doubt. But what I'm seeing right now, I think Nigerians, maybe they are tired.
You're seeing it from the amount of money you pay for your container. Maybe.
No, man.
No, I think
everybody now is paying, dearly for it.
Yeah.
Either, right now is either we do the right thing or the next one. All of us.
I mean, Maazi, we cannot say that the level of voter registration interest, of course, it has increased. It's not debatable. So that increase is because somebody is on the ballot. However, we should also know that we are still coming from a place, and that's the comfortability of APC and PDP, that at the end of the day, after all the initial gra, that they feel that they have certain things. So the fear of Tinubu, as we come back to that issue, is that Atiku is a northerner first and foremost. And
yes,
the fear,
Africans are tribalistic in nature. No doubt about that.
No, that's point. Let's go for commercial break, people. So if you're joining us for the first time, this is Njenje Media TV. Please like, subscribe, and share with others. You're also free to make use of the super chat and the super sticker.
ABC Nigeria from top to bottom. Top to bottom. Top to bottom. Top to bottom.
This one like says tumbling.
So Nigeria is turning from left to right, left to right. Even our good friend in the National Assembly is telling us that Nigeria is doing like this. Nigeria is doing like this. Nigeria is doing like this.
It's doing like this. It's doing like this. It's blinking, shaking. So
the economy is blinking. The economy is shaking. So what can we do? Now, people, we are going to be rounding up now.
Okay.
What do you think? If I ask you, each of you, to give me 2 names you think Peter Obi should consider, who would those people be? I'll start with you, CY.
Number one, I should say Sanusi, and who else? It's very Maazi, this is very hard, when it comes to these things, because right now the movement that we are trying to pursue right now is somebody that, after digging, there is no corruption in his closet or something. So I will go with Sanusi for now.
Okay. So, Sydney?
I think I would go with a Sanusi and maybe Yusuf Tanko, the NCF convener. He's a young northerner.
Is a middle belt. Is it Yusuf Tank? Is that the middle belt, the evangelist or whatever he calls him? Is it what you're talking about?
I don't know he's an evangelist, but I know he's the person that convenes the NCF.
Okay.
The consultative forum that created the coalition with Labour. I think he's young, he's known in the north, and he may be able to pull out the young northern voters because they are more alive. And so if we are basing our movement from the young people, then we may need somebody in that space that can reach out to them and just go for it.
Finally, are you confident that the people would, on the day of election, not do what they've done to Kingsley Morgan, whom everyone said is cruising home and dry, and suddenly last minute, Nigeria happened to him?
I'll go. Delegates election is different from the election on the ground.
We're all human. Hold on. Onyenimo, thank you very much. I think Onyenimo has nominated me for VP for Africa.
Okay. Maazi, you can go for it.
And he's donating his £20 for me to go and buy my form. Okay, Onyenimo, I think somebody needs to complete the money to £100 so that I can go. I think if I convert £100, it can get me a form of one party. There is one party they call the Boot Party, B-O-O-T. So I'm interested in, because I want to be kicking A's, with that boot. So Onyenimo, thank you very much for the super chat. So like I said, in conclusion here, people, the last question stands. So sorry, go ahead. Continue what you're saying before.
Okay. I think I was talking about, I said delegate elections are different piece of kettle of fish. Is different from an election that the people are coming. And with the groundswell already, I think the groundswell is very clear. The young people, there are no jobs anywhere. I think there's not going to be a more hollow experience. But the challenge will be, do we have enough of the numbers to challenge the status quo? But I don't think it will be a very good number, but I hope it's able to, like I say, move the election into a runoff.
Okay. Now, what do you think, both of you now, what do you think will be the greatest impediment standing before Peter Obi come 2023?
For me, I don't think, for me, I don't know for any other person, but for me, just the ability to convince the people in the northern Nigeria, a lot of them. But for we in the south and the east, that one is easy cruise for him. So I don't think he has any problem over there. It's all about so that they don't play the tribal whatever when it comes to that. So that's where I see
but
that.
Even the north, some of us think he's got a lot. Of course, he's got a lot of job to do there. But the north, a lot of people are so surprisingly coming out in the open to declare for him. Tomorrow, I'm having a conversation with one of them by 5 o'clock Nigerian time. To be an interesting conversation that I want us to join, because while we had a preliminary conversation, the things he said and the things he revealed to me were mind-blowing. And I would have the privilege of bringing him here, that all of us should listen to him. So, Sydney,
my only prayer is that we have a 7-month election to be able to sustain the tempo, to sustain a long election tempo, especially for young Nigerians.
If it's organic,
very challenging.
Well, if it's organic,
it's organic.
No one is paying you. All you do, you go to your work, You come on, you tweet, you go, you help someone, you paste poster, you put
Yes,
on
I
your
know.
art.
I know.
It's organic.
Yes, we know it's organic, but we need to pace it correctly. I know how these things work. If we don't pace it correctly, that at every 2 months there's consistent messaging. I know there are many groups, so all those many groups must come together. For instance, I had a challenge. Let me tell you one of the critical challenge. I had a challenge. I go to the labor website. We should be able to connect quickly. People should be able to volunteer quickly. So if everything is coming, you will notice that even the diaspora, we can now donate, because the problem lies, how do we donate? So we should have a collation where people can donate, and then things can trickle down.
If people, I think, no. I think maybe that's where maybe the information is not there. Let me quickly show us. And then when I hear people say these things, it really beats me, because these are things I know. I know every single person involved in this, and these are men and women of P2B support group. And people go there now on their website, they register, because they are now working in close ties with the Labour Party to make sure that every single polling unit, every single ward has people in there, people that over time, in the next 7 months, will be trained. Now, and when people talk about donating, then I laugh, because if you're in the diaspora, for instance, and you want to do that, you can simply, let me bring that to my screen. You can simply go to this website here. I think it's www.p2b support. Let me see, that's here. Hold on.
Okay.
So you can quickly, yeah. So when you look at this website here, for instance, you see when you go to the P2B support network, they have donate, and here you can join their Telegram group. These guys are so smart that they've done all these things in your fingertip. Click here, join the Telegram group. If there is any conversation P2B is having live, it's being streamed on their page. Take it savvy. You can join them if you want to. Let's say you click to join, you want to join them. They give you a form, you fill that form, you want to be a volunteer. Look, you click that form, you put in your local government, your town, your community, your polling unit, your PVC, your telephone number, and once you fill that in, they get back to you, assign you to the specific, if you're from, let's say you're from Katangora local government, you have a Katangora card coordinator. They assign you to the Katangora coordinator. Now, and if you want to donate here, and this is when I was looking at it yesterday, I think it's very, very brilliant. Yeah. You have no reason not to be part of what's happening, because
we need it to go out. We need it to go out. Yeah, we need it to. We need this to.
They have
go on and reach space.
They share it on their Facebook page, but Nigeria. Okay. And when I read that, people say no, it is fraud. It is this. I laugh, because when people don't know what is happening, but the information is not there. But again, when you look at it that they've done, you can do a PayPal, you can do a normal bank transfer. For instance, if you go on bank transfer, this page opens up, which I found really, really a lot of thoughts has gone into this. You see, there are they've got Naira account, the same name of the P2B support network. They've got the dollar account. You guys in the US, you know how to use it. Or you can only earn, if you don't earn in dollar, it concerns you not. If you earn in pounds, you can see that here. This is the account number. If it's euro, come on. So again, this is something, when you think about this is the grassroots, the sustainability of this, and this is the only way to do it. And again, P2B himself is aware. One of his long-time aide, is one of the trustees and one of those that will manage that fund, or rather managing that fund. Now, if you
just
understand this,
not a little advice to this. One of the things that can help people gain confidence is using those influencers. Somebody like now P Square is joining. If those people begin to promote this website, people begin to trust these guys. You see, these are the things, just the mindset of people. So these are the things. But like I said, my only challenge is that we need to have sustaining momentum against
Hmm.
these behemoths that are
Well,
coming, because they're going to
there
put
is no
money on
other
ground.
way. There is no other way to have that, sustaining momentum. Because for me and for many people, this is more about, it's about the people, and the people have owned it. People have gone out. People have put in all their best to gone out and say this is what they're going to do. And let me quickly actually share that the link on the comment section for people who want to be part of that could do. And I'm glad. I would also look into that. I mean, I'm going to be part of it, because at the end of the day, like I said at the beginning, this is, for me, it's a referendum. It's time to go get your PVC. 2023 is a referendum that all of us will cast. Eventually, if referendum becomes part of the constitution, whether we want to go back to 1963 or 1960, whatever, we still need the PVC to make that happen. So the earlier I get it, because
why we praise that there will be diaspora voting.
Why people are having a problem right now getting the PVC is because they've been reluctant in getting it before now. If all the while that everywhere were quiet, if people had gone quietly get their PVC, just they look like my own PVC is in my pocket. I'm looking. That's my own koboko. So at that day, I look at you, I say, okay, you say I not go do this, then I now have my power to flog you. That's the only thing you can have against a politician.
Maazi, I understand where you're coming from. Nigerians, P2B, since the past 4-3, even sometime last year, people were not even paying too much attention to him. It was just lately. And you've seen how people are buying into his ideas. The thing they are having a hope, of a better Nigeria. So that's why you see all the surge, people trying to, so INEC should do the needful and make sure everybody let them extend the date, at least give out to
hold on, please. Aminu Mohammed is pushing out a false narrative in the comment section, and I want you, Aminu, if you can join me. I do like to debate this. That's not correct. That is a lie. That is a fake news that Peter Obi was the one who gave Northerners ID card. That is not correct. Aminu, obviously you do join programs here, so if you wish to join and state this, but I will be disappointed that someone who I consider learned and someone who probably Libra should be pushing such a false narrative. And he pays, he pays you not to. In as much as sometimes I do crack joke with Tinubu and some of the PPing, we stuff, but I can't basically begin to formulate outright lies against him. It's against the ethics. You don't do that. But I mean, cracking jokes, some of them some of them within the APC folks call Mr. Peter Obi the China, China, whatever. I mean, these are all jokes, but not to please. I want to debunk this on this platform. That information, Aminu, it is wrong, and that is not correct. Okay, people, on that note, I will say thank you very much for being part of this. It has been a very fantastic conversation. People, I didn't want that to extend 2 hours. Thank you all for joining me. Have a blessed evening. This weekend hangout was a very good one. We looked at so many issues. And tomorrow, 5 o'clock Nigerian time, you'll be joining me. I will be having a one-on-one conversation with Ibrahim Umar. He will be joining me from Kaduna, and we will have in-depth conversation regarding this election. And come prepared, because you're going to hear stuff that you never heard before. On that note, I say thank you once more for being part of this stream, And we hope Nigeria, that is now going from top to bottom, will eventually go from bottom to top. On that note, again, we sign out. Let's go back to top to bottom.
ABC, Nigeria, Nigeria, from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom.
It's like Nigeria is all tumbling. Everything is not funny. They will play me fun. I play. My neighbor press one. He goes the fun apart.